Hi, this is Mark from Show Me Construction, and today I'm going to be installing a 2-gang box, an exterior plugs, because the owner must have put Christmas lights in. So I'm going to install it right here coming out beside this window, and I'm going to be putting a weatherproof cover on it, and where it's going to be controlled by a switch under the floor in their sub-basement. But anyway, I'm going to get started on that right now. Okay, I'm down here in the sub-basement, and we have a box right here that's coming off the panel, and it's running 2 plugs on this wall and 2 plugs on this wall. So there's 4 plugs on this circuit. So I'm going to go ahead and tie it into this one right here, and I'm going to put a switch right here to control the outside lights, and I'm going to go ahead and run it down this bay. So what I need to do right now is I'm going to drill a hole on the inside here. I'm going to drill a small hole with this small bit, and then I'll see the location of it on the outside, and I'll see where in that general area I want to mount this box. It's just a little, it's a 5/16 wood drill bit, and I'm going to drill through and of course I have to drill a bigger one later to put my 1/2-inch pipe through to run the wire out into the box. And I'm going to be about 3 feet from there. There's a window on the other side, and I'm going to be about 3 feet from it. So I'm going to go a little bit higher right here. Okay, I got my hole. I'm going to go ahead and leave this drill bit in there so I can clearly see it on the outside. So now what I'm going to do is, this is the location. I'm going to drill a bigger hole because I'm going to have a 1/2-inch fitting on this that I'm going to stick through there, and we'll silicone the back of this and then attach this to we're going to attach this to their wall. Okay, I've got a fitting that I'm going to put on the back of this box. I'll put that in, but I've got to drill a hole big enough for this fitting to go in and through here. So I've got myself a bit, and I'm going to just lower it down a little. So I'm going to go to this lower side. This is 1 1/4 bit, and it's going to, so it fits this 1/2-inch pipe. Okay, I've got a hole now all the way through the siding and the rim joist into the sub-basement. And so what I need to do now is I'm going to, this is just a PVC electrical pipe, 1/2-inch, and I'm going to glue it on this fitting, and I'll stick it on the back of this box here, and then I'm going to stick this box in and mount it right there. And then this is going to be the location of the plug. If you have brick, well, obviously depending on the siding you have, if you have brick, then you'd have to either do a drill through the brick with a cement or masonry bit, or if you wanted to surface mount it or flush mount it, then you'd have to notch out where this box would go in. But typically we're just going to surface mount it like it is here. So that's the way we're going to do this, just surface mount. But it all depends on the siding you have, would be how you attach it and how you go through to run your wire under the floor. I'm gonna have to buy another plug to plug this other hole off. For whatever reason, they only provided 4 plugs. I mean 3 plugs. Sorry. And we've got 4 holes that we got to plug because we're coming in from the back. So that's just the way it is. So I'm going to have to go, you can buy these to plug these boxes. So I'll have to buy another plug. It only came with 3. This piece of 1/2-inch Schedule 40 that I got, electrical, it comes in a 10-foot section, and I just cut 6 inches off of it. I cut it so when it's sticking through there, I can run my wire through this stub out, into my box. You don't need to go all the way to your box. As long as you're running the Romex, I can attach it to the joist. But I'm just doing this as it's penetrating through the house, because I'm going to put silicone around here and seal it off so water doesn't get into it. So anyway, I'll do that right now. These screws are to attach the box. I'm going to screw this into this box. Glue this pipe on the back of it. All right. There we go. And then that's going to fit in there, and then I'll attach it to the side of this. So this is ready to go. I'll have to get a plug for that later, but I can go ahead and install this right now. I'm going to put a little silicone behind this. And I'm going to shove this into the wall, and that silicone will seal that hole up. And then I'm going to put I got these 4-inch Tech screws with the 1/4-inch hex head, and I'm going to use those to attach it right into the siding here. There. And we got silicone behind this to keep the moisture from getting into the hole. And that's it. And now I'll go inside and I'm going to run my wire. I'm going to go into this box right here. So I'm going to drill a hole through here. I just want to keep the wire above I want to keep the wire inside the joist, so in case they ever want to finish this off. So I'm going to drill a hole right through here. It's a 3/4 wood drill bit that I used to go through that joist to run this wire through. And this is 12-2, because what's already run on this circuit is a 12-2 wire on a 20-amp breaker. So I'm going to stay with 12-2 because you want to stay with the same size as your breaker. And I'm going to run this wire down. I'm going to feed it right into this pipe I put. I'll let it run out. It'll be a little bit long, but I got to cut some wire off to make up my plugs, and I'm going to staple it off right here. So I'm just going to take some 1/2-inch wire staples, and I'll staple it off. Just down to it. You don't need to just beat it, because you don't want to cut the coating on your wire. So that's important to remember. And I'm going to see about how much wire I'm going to need here. And I'll cut a little bit long. Give me a little bit of room to do makeup. I'm going to run it through this hole. Right there. I'm going to run it in this box right here. All right. That's a little more wire than I needed, but that's okay. I have room to now cut it. Put a staple in here. All right. Well, that's where I'm going to tie in right here into this box. And this is going to be a switch. I'm going to go ahead and put a switch here, and this is just going to be a blank. And this switch is to control that plug on the outside, because they want to mainly use it for Christmas lighting. So then that way they can come down here and switch it on and off instead of having to go outside and unplug everything. Now, the homeowner asked why I didn't use this box. I didn't use this box for the main reason is because there's no ground. It's an existing wire, and it's not grounded. So it's 14.2, which would have been easier to work with the wires on the outside. But because there wasn't a ground, I went to a box that was grounded, because I want to put a GFI and it's going outside. That's primarily the reason why I did it, for safety. So you have it's on a grounded circuit. Okay, this is our wire coming out. And so I'm going to cut this, and I'm going to put a GFI and just a regular plug that's going to run off of that GFI. So they'll both be ground fault circuit protected. And of course we have 2 ground screws we can choose from to tie these in. So I'm going to do that right now. Okay, now so the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to strip this wire and tie the ground in here and get this set up so we can put our plugs in, and then I'll put the waterproof cover on. So I'm carefully just going to strip it. Again, we just want to cut this outside coating. You don't want to go so deep and bury it. You don't want to bury it into the wire, because all we want to cut is this outside coating. And if it's a little hard to strip, that's good, because that tells you that you didn't go through it. All right. And then we want to hook one of these. We're going to go ahead and tie it into the ground. The green one is the ground screw, so we're going to tie that into the ground right here. So then the box will be grounded. Okay, so that grounds the box. I'm going to put the GFI plug here and the regular plug here. So here's my GFI plug. Now this is the line, and this is right here is the load. They cover that up because if you want to add another plug or to continue the circuit, and if you want it to also be grounded with the GFI, then you want to attach it on this bottom. You remove this. If you wasn't concerned about it being grounded, then you'd put them both of them in here, and then just this plug would be grounded. But since we want this other plug to also operate with the GFI, we're going to tie it into the bottom, and you'll see how I do that. But I'm going to put the hot leg on the brass right here, and the neutral leg I'm going to put it to this white screw, a silver screw. And of course the ground, I'm going to tie it into the ground here, and we're going to tie also another ground onto this to go to on my other plug. I'm going to put this plug in beside it. And they're gonna sit like that. So I'll show you how I'm gonna do that right now. I'm gonna take a piece of this wire and this wire, the neutral and the hot, and I'm gonna go ahead and tie these together right now. It's just easier to do this right out here than it's gonna be to try to put this all together. It's easier to do it on this outside. So I'll strip these. Tie these into this would be the load side. This says load right there. This is the line coming in, and this is any fixtures you have coming off of this side will also be operated by this GFI breaker. So that's what we want. Hook the neutral leg in. Okay, so we got the hot and the neutral, and what we're going to do is it's going to tie to this one. So we want to loop this around to here, and this other one's going to loop around to this side. So they don't have to be very long because it's all got to fit in this box. So they're just jumper wires is really all they are. So we want to make sure that they're not too long. We don't want to have to cram a bunch of wire in there. That's not going to do us any good. So just about like that. So then we'll cut this. And we'll strip these. And then what we're going to do is tie these into this plug here. So we're going to tie the neutral into the neutral side here. Tie the hot into the okay, now you can see what we've got. It's tied in, the same silver screws and the black and the gold screws for the hot, just like that. And now this is ready to go in, but now I've got to strip these, and I've also got I want to pigtail these, so I'm going to cut another wire so we have two grounds, because we got to ground this one and ground this one. Okay, I'm going to hook this ground wire to this ground lug, because this whole box then is all tied together. It's all one. Okay, so now I'm going to cut this back a little bit. Cut these back to more than about 6 inches. These are not connected to power yet, so I cut them both together. I'm going to strip these. Okay, so this would be my power coming in, and it's going to come into the GFI on this top side. I'll go ahead and, well, these are tightened up, so I don't have to worry about it. These are loose, so I'm going to go ahead and tie my grounds in. And then this ground is going to go over here, so I have to put a loop in it. All right. So I got my grounds connected to my plugs, and now I can go ahead and hook my wires in here. Like that. Do the neutral side. All right, now I got my grounds in, my power in, so I'm going to feed these in there now. We have a D-core or a GFI right here, so we'll snap this into place. And then we have this for the regular plug right here, standard plug. So we'll snap these in, and we line it up there. And then we'll put this bottom screw in. And even though you're using a screw gun, you don't want to over tighten them. Just screw it down when they stop, they're done. So that's all watertight there. And we've got our GFI plug and our regular plug. Now we'll put the door on. Snaps in both ways in a closed position. There. And now you have a watertight box. That's it. So then now we're going to go inside, and they can run their cables up through this and slide them right in here when they want to plug them in. So now we're going to go downstairs, and I'm going to hook the wire up and install a switch. And then we're going to I'll bring my tester out here, and we'll make sure everything is working. Okay. Okay, so I took the wire nuts off here. These are hot. And I've got this tester, well, it's actually not a tester. This is a transmitter, and I got the receiver right here. And so I'm going to plug this transmitter into these wires, and this light's on. So now I can go over here to the panel and find out which circuit it is. You can pick this up at Home Depot, and that's zeroing it out, and you run this up and down. Run it up and down both ways first. and it'll beep when it gets to the circuit. There it is. 20 amp. So I'll shut this off and we'll go over here and this light should be off. And it is. That's the circuit. So that's dead. So now I can work on hooking this up. So what I need to do, I need to tie this into power because I'm jumping off of the power right here from my switch. So I'll jump off the power leg. Because this is going to be a switch, all I need to jumper off of this is the power. So now I can put the wire nut back on that. Okay, so there's my power. So now I can push this back up in there because I'm through with this one. So now I can strip this now. Now again, I carefully just cut the outside coating. We're not trying to cut the coating on that's around the wires. Just this exterior jacket is the only thing we want to cut. And then what we need now, so this is our switch leg right here. So we want to tie our neutrals in and we want to tie, and we're going to tie the grounds in. So let's go and tie our ground in right here first. Take this off. So now the grounds are tied in. I can shove this up out of the way. The grounds are tied in, I can shove that out of the way, and now I just need to tie the neutrals in. So I'll cut that, strip it. And I'm going to tie it into the neutral. I'll put the wire nut on here and I'll run this up out of the way. Now, one thing about it, if I wanted to make this, if I was going to make those plugs hot all the time, I would have just run this wire into my hot. I would not have pigtailed off of this. I would have just run this into here and that plug would have been hot all the time. But because we want to put a switch, I'm pigtailing off the power, putting it up out of the way. And now I've got, now basically, because that's all basically a switch is anyway, is just a breaker. So now I can cut these and I'll strip them. And I'm going to hook up my switch. second. Okay, I'm going to tighten these up. All right, now I got my switch. I'm going to push that up there and screw it in. Okay, now I have a switch. This switch controls that outside plug. So I'm going to turn on the breaker and we'll go out and test it. Okay, we turned the switch on, and now I'm going to take the circuit tester, or as some electricians would call it, a wiggy, and I need to first reset it. And you hear that click, that means it's on, and now I can check it. And the red and the orange should be hot, and that shows correct. So there, we got a grounded circuit. And then I'm going to put it in here and check it, and they're on. So now I'll leave it in here, and if I hit the test, that light should go off. And it does. So it's grounded, it's a grounded circuit, and these are off. And then I reset it, and it's back on. So we got a grounded circuit. And that's it. Well, if this video has helped you and you've learned something, please hit the subscribe button below and hit the like button, and I appreciate it. And I'll bring back more of these videos as they come up. And possibly next week after Thanksgiving, I'm going to help them put up Christmas lights. We may even put that on a video. Thanks for watching.